My name is Nasserdeen. I'm the CEO and I'm the founder of Rise Up For You. And we get the great honor of working with organizations and individuals like yourself around the world on what I like to call power skills. So that's confidence, emotional and social intelligence, leadership, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we've worked with companies, Fortune 500 from Google, all the way down to a local nonprofit, and we're in over 50 countries. I'm the owner and the founder of the company, a two-time TEDx speaker, and a #1 best-selling author. And today I'm here to talk with you about what I think is one of the most important topics specifically for women today in the workplace, and that is how to build confidence to be seen, be heard, and be relevant. So I'm super excited to jump in and to share and talk with you. Please don't be afraid to ask questions. I will take questions at the end, and I want this to be a very engaging platform. And of course, I will share my screen. So a couple things. I did not start off this way, of course. My first career ever was as a performer. So I used to tour the world internationally, and I used to sing and dance similar to Broadway. And every time I walked into a room, I always got the center stage spot, which if you know anything about performing, you know that center stage is the best place. It's the spot that you want to be in. But here's the most important part that I want you to remember. My technical skills were never, ever the best, okay? My technical skills were never the best. So I always had 3 or 4 people that were in a room with me that can sing me out of the water. They had a 3-octave range. I had a 2.5-octave range. They had parents that were musicians. I sang in my garage when I was a kid, but yet I got that center stage spot. And they would always ask me, Netta, how do I get to where you are? How do I stand where you stand? And I used to say, everything you need is already inside of you. The only difference between you and I is I walk into a room and I own the room. But actually, you're a better singer than I am, right? But yet I still got that center stage spot. Now, fast forward it 7-8 years, and I decided I didn't want to perform anymore. I put up my tap shoes, hung up the microphone, and I became the executive of an education corporation. I was 27 years old, leading a team of 200 people. And I saw the exact same challenges happening in the workplace that I saw when I was out on the road as a performer. High-functioning professionals that had PhDs, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees were getting in the way of their own success, and they had a hard time being seen, being heard, and being relevant. They were struggling with perfectionist mindset, the inability to make the ask to raise their hand, not feeling enough. So I just started to do some research, and I asked myself, what makes some people more successful than others? What makes some companies more successful than others? How come one person can have the same exact resume and skills as another person, but this person's going to go further? Why? What is it? And we realize, and I recognize, and we're seeing this more and more today, we're hearing more about it today, that it's no longer about the technical skills that help you to stand out, to help you to really build success. In fact, research shows that 80% of your success is determined on emotional and social intelligence. That's the human skills, not the technical skills. So the big question in particular for women is, in a workspace that's overconsumed, that's inundated, how can we be seen, be heard, and be relevant? And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to share my screen, okay? And we are going to go through this. And I want you to just give me a thumbs up in the chat. Can you see my screen? Can you give me a thumbs up? Yes, beautiful. Okay, so how are we seen, how are we heard, and how are we relevant to the workplace? Okay, now I will tell you that this training is the training that I do the most for women. I keynote speak around the world, and I probably do this like 2 to 3 times a week, in particular for women in leadership, right? And women that want to accelerate in their career and in their profession. Not necessarily limited to the corporate space, right? We work with a lot of entrepreneurs as well and a lot of coaches. So the question is, how do we be seen, be heard, and be relevant? Step number 1, I always say, be the billboard that people stop to see. Be the billboard that people stop to see. There are way too many women in particular that walk into a room, show up on Zoom as if they don't matter. I always say the greatest leaders in the world are the ones that recognize they're leading before they even open their mouth. And there's too many women that don't recognize and realize the importance of their presence. Your power has presence. When you walk into that room, your objective is to turn head so that people can look at you and say, who is that individual? I want to get to know them. I want to talk with them, and I want to know more about them. Okay. But I walk into keynote events all the time. I'm constantly walking into networking events, and I can't tell you how many women I see that walk around as if they don't exist. And if you show up that way, that's the way that you are going to get treated. So how do we show people and be that billboard, right? So number one, putting yourself together. This first step is super simple. Okay, putting yourself together, doing your hair, putting on a bright face, wearing colors that show who you are. When I walk into a room of 1,000 people, I can count on one hand how many individuals actually show up in a color. Notice how I'm wearing a bright color today? Most individuals wear black, brown, dark, navy gray, and white. And what does that do? It mushes you all together. So no one's standing out. But now what happens if you walk into a room with 50 people and you're wearing hot pink, you're wearing purple, you're wearing gold, right? You automatically stand out before you even open your mouth because it takes confidence to wear color, okay? So my recommendation right now is to go into your closet and ask yourself, what kind of clothing do I have that can make me stand out? Now, I love to wear black. More than half my closet is black, but I have this little section with clothes like this. So when I'm speaking, when I go into networking events, when I go into any kind of important events or anything, I pull in a color instead of wearing black so that I can be seen right away, okay? Yes, time for shopping, Stella. Okay, wearing appropriate clothes that fit your brand. The reality is that every single one of you has a personal brand, whether or not you know it, okay? You have a personal brand. So I want you to ask yourself, what are the 3 values or what are the 3 characteristics you want to emulate before you even speak? And is your clothing showing that? Okay? Is your clothing showing that? So if you want to emulate confidence, if you want to emulate pride, if whatever, nurture, being warm, does your clothes represent the energy that you want to put out there? And listen, you know, when I was an executive and I was 27, I thought I was the best executive ever. I thought I was the most amazing leader in the world, but nobody came into my office and nobody came to talk to me. And then I heard someone say, well, you're kind of intimidating. And I said, nope, that's not true. And then another person said, well, you're kind of not approachable. And I said, no, I don't think that's true. Well, I decided to do an anonymous survey. And out of 200 team members, 75% said that I was intimidating, not approachable, and I looked mad all the time. I cried. No joke, I cried. But I realized that what I felt on the inside was not permeating and wasn't connecting on the outside. I wasn't showing up that way externally. I was wearing black all the time. My energy was always geared towards the floor or on my phone or focused on a task. And it wasn't permeating warmth, and it wasn't permeating coaching and mentorship and support, and I want to help. So putting yourself together and having strong energy is a game changer for being seen, okay? So talking about energy, having an open energy, asking people how they are, avoiding the resting face. We all know what that is, right? I'm totally guilty, right? And I've had to work on it, right? Avoiding that resting face. And lastly, be engaged when you talk with others, even if it's on Zoom. Notice right now that like we're not even in the same room. We're not even in the same state or country for most of us. And I'm talking to you as if you're sitting right in front of me, right? This is the key of being seen and standing out, is building relationships even through a computer screen, recognizing that you can make an impact. I didn't show up today just mediocre because I'm like, oh, I can't see them. They really don't know who I am. No, I'm showing up today because I know that the 70 of you that are watching right now are being influenced by my energy, even on this platform. Okay? Now, how to command a room. I always say, walk with purpose. When you walk into a room, if you need to stop for a minute and decide where you're going to go next, that's fine. I walk into a room, I stop, where do I want to go? And then I walk with purpose. I don't mosey around as if I don't know what I'm doing, okay? Always introduce yourself clearly and contribute to every event and engagement you go to. Even if you are in a room where you're not leading, always have your voice heard, okay? Even if that means that you say, hi, everyone, my name is Netta. I'm so excited to be here today. Hi, everyone, my name is Netta. Thank you for that meeting. I look forward to the next one. Even if it's just a small statement, always have your voice heard. Okay, so that is step number one, be seen. Now we're moving on to step number two, be heard. I wrote an entire book on this. Okay, it's called Rise Up For You. It's a #1 best-selling book on Amazon. And I wrote an entire book just on confidence alone. This is the greatest tragedy we see today amongst human beings, in my professional opinion and my personal opinion. So my team and I asked over 2,000 working professionals in 2021 what their #1 challenge was. 83% of working professionals said self-confidence, imposter syndrome, the perfectionist mindset, making the ask, not feeling enough, letting self-doubt cripple them. This is by far the biggest tragedy I see today, is a lack of self-confidence. Now, it's not your fault, because as a society, we have been programmed to do the opposite, okay? So I talk about macro and micro confidence. This is the blueprint I created in my book. The challenge is that society has taught you to build what I call micro confidence, okay? So micro confidence is meaning that you build confidence in areas in life, okay? So for example, you go to school your whole entire life to build confidence in skills, right? You become confident in math, you become confident in reading, you become confident in history. Then you go to college and you get a certification, you become confident in that certification or that degree, right? So you're taught to build a bunch of confidence in these little micro areas, right? You're confident, I'm confident as a speaker. Maybe you're confident when it comes to selling. You're confident when it comes to coding. You're confident when it comes to your career. You're confident when it comes to skateboarding. Whatever it is, fill in the blank. This is what we call micro level confidence. The problem is that micro level confidence is not sustainable because it exists outside of you. And anything that exists outside of you, it's inevitable, it is going to change. This is what we saw with the pandemic. So thousands of people, thousands of our clients around the world, they defined themselves by their micro confidence. They defined themselves by their career, by their job title, by their money, by their car. And guess what? When the pandemic hit and all of that fell away, guess what else fell away? Their self-worth, their identity, okay? Because we have been taught to define ourselves and to build our self-worth based off of those micro level areas. When those things fall apart, which they will, we as human beings fall apart as well. Why do you think 75% of the American population feels burnt out, miserable, and unfulfilled? Because we've been trained to build our self-worth based off of these micro areas. What we really want to do is build macro level confidence. This is a belief in your ability to learn. This is a belief in your ability to grow. Okay, this is growth mindset. This is a belief that you are enough simply because you exist. Not because of anything, not because of any job, not because of any title, not because of any relationship, nothing. But simply because you exist. Macro level confidence is being able to say, when I have nothing, I still have everything because I have my self-worth, and you can do everything with that. Listen, when I first started building my company, Rise Up For You, all I had was $100. $100. I didn't have a degree in business, okay? I resigned from my executive position to move out of the country for love, and after 4 weeks, I was back in California with only 2 luggage. I lost all my money, everything. I had a house on the lake, brand new luxury car, an executive position. I was an amazing executive making over 6 figures when I was in my 20s. And in 4 weeks, I lost everything because I took a risk for love. I came back to California with 2 luggage and $100. I started building my company, Rise Up For You, 2.5 weeks later. I don't have a business degree, right? I have a master's in executive leadership. I lost everything. But because I had macro level confidence, I had the ability to say, you know what? Those things don't define me. I know who I am. And I believe in my ability to learn. I believe in my ability to get back up. I had macro level confidence, and therefore I was able to build micro level confidence. So what did I do? I went on the computer. How do you build a business? How do you build a website? How do you build a podcast? What do people need today? And today, 5 years later, my company is in over 50 countries, and I have an amazing team throughout the US and Canada and Europe, and we're transforming thousands and thousands of people every single day. But I didn't have a degree in business. But you see, because I had that macro level confidence, I was able to build micro, more micro. Macro gets you more micro. But if you start with micro, it's really difficult to build your macro. And this is where we need to start. Okay? I always say the sky is not the limit, it's the mind. It is your mind. So being able to push past any of those beliefs into positive thinking, positive thoughts, okay? So last part is step number 3. We did be seen, we did be heard, now it's be relevant, okay? How do we be relevant? So I always say you no longer need a boss to give you a promotion. Okay, we live in a world where you can do that all on your own. Okay, we have social media at our fingertips. We have opportunities that are just oozing everywhere. So step number 1, how do you become relevant in your industry? Even if you're not an entrepreneur, you need to know how to do this. Step number 1 is building your LinkedIn ASAP as a thought leader, as fast as possible. Go to my LinkedIn right now. Go to my LinkedIn when we're off of this call, okay? Look at my LinkedIn and replicate it for you. Look at what I'm doing. I have pictures. I put posts and videos up there about this industry that I'm in. You can do that today too, even if you're not an entrepreneur, because you have to remember something. If you learned anything from the pandemic, it's never put all your eggs in one basket. You need to build a personal brand, and you need to put yourself out there as a thought leader in your industry, even if you're working with a company, because that company might not be there tomorrow, and you need to have a receipt of your expertise and credibility. Okay, so building your LinkedIn as soon as possible. Again, go to my LinkedIn and just emulate it, replicate it for you. Okay, step number 2 is add value via video. Less than 60 seconds. They don't need to be complicated. You can pick up the phone. Hi, my name is Nasserdeen. Here's one strategy that I want to share with you about building your confidence. Boom, and then post it on LinkedIn. Because when you add free value, it shows people that you're credible and you're an expert at what you do. And that's what we want, okay? And step number 3, strategic networking. So I always say, if you're gonna go out into the community and network, put yourself in front. So instead of just going to a networking event and passing out cards, no. Sit on a committee, volunteer on a board. If you're gonna get out there and network, you might as well be in a position of leadership so that you can be seen, be heard, and be more relevant. Okay, this is strategic networking, and this helps you establish credibility and yourself as a thought leader. I always say the greatest tragedy is wasted human potential. Do not let that be your story. Allow yourself to be seen, be heard, and be relevant. Thank you so much. My name is Nasserdeen. I always love to give free gifts. I'm gonna open it up to some Q&A, okay? But if you scan that QR code, it's gonna give you our free success kit that has 10 free videos and 60 pages worth of a workbook on emotional intelligence, public speaking, self-confidence, building success, all completely free. And you get a free one-to-one coaching call. You can bring any challenge and my team will help you work through. You just have to scan that code. Does anybody have any questions for me that I can answer? Anything at all? And while you're getting ready to answer those questions, I'm going to plug in my laptop because the battery is about to die. So let me see. Let's get some questions here. Okay, what do we got? I plugged in my laptop. Any questions at all? What do we got? Nothing? This is the first time ever? Okay. What is your advice for people who are shy? Great question, Natalie. Oh, thank you, Carla. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Please connect with me on LinkedIn as well, everybody. What is your advice for people who are shy? Okay, my advice is this, Natalie. Everybody is shy. Everybody is outgoing. Everybody's an introvert. Everybody's an extrovert. Don't put yourself in a box, okay? That's part of the reason why I'm not a huge fan of like Brigham Myers or all those exams and assessments that we do, right? Because the reality is that when you get defined, I'm ENFJ or I'm this, that, then we start to think that we are that. But the reality is that we all have all of it, okay? The key here is when do you use it? So it's okay for you to be shy. I'm shy too, but I'm not shy when I step on camera, but I'm shy in my personal life. If you were to hang out with me, like I have a totally different energy. Okay. So it's okay if you're shy, but where does it serve you and where does it not serve you? Okay. So obviously in the workspace, if you want to move forward and you want to accelerate, or if you run your own business, you have to be more extrovert because you have to build relationships. You have to show confidence. So in that moment, we need to put on our alter ego. Okay. We need to put on like a new persona that's not shy anymore. And then when that is done, then you can go back to being shy. So using those different energies is going to be important. And that's part of emotional intelligence. You guys are so cute right now. I'm looking at all the messages about how I'm like burning up my laptop. That is so funny. Okay, thank you. Okay, Alexis, I have a question regarding the bright colors. I have a few pops of pink hair in my dark hair. Is this good with standing out or come off as unprofessional? That's a really good question, Alexis. It depends what industry you're in. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. It depends what industry you're in, because some industries require a different type of look that, yeah, maybe pink hair would be not considered as professional, or they might not take you seriously. Some industries you can, right? And they think it's cool and it fits the industry and it fits where we're going and where society is going. So it's just going to depend, again, what industry you're in. But I would say from a professional standpoint, we want solid clothing that's bright, that's going to make you stand out. Okay, that's what's going to make you stand out and still be taken seriously. Okay, you guys are so nice. Thanks for grabbing my book. I'm really excited and honored to be here. Okay, please do a quick recap of the important points. Yes, be seen, be heard, be relevant. Be seen, your energy, how you show up, even before you open up your mouth, wearing bright colors, having positive energy, walking with confidence. Be heard is your confidence, okay? Having self-confidence, building that self-worth in yourself and not being defined by anything external. No job, no title, no nothing is going to determine your self-worth. And step number 3 is be relevant, building credibility in your space, even if you're not an entrepreneur. Getting on LinkedIn, putting out golden nuggets, sharing your thoughts on certain topics in the industry. And that doesn't mean just share a post. No. If you're going to share a post, put your voice on that post. So instead of just sharing it and saying, oh, this is so cool, no, share it and then put your opinion, because again, we want to build that credibility. Okay, anything else? You guys are awesome. Please take advantage of that free gift. Like I said, it's 10 videos. It's completely free. And you get a workbook and a free coaching call. And if you put my name down, then I'll coach you. I'll make sure I get on the call. How do you know when is the right time to move up? My goals are to become a director, but I have only been a manager for a year and a half, technical contributor before. There is no right time, but it's whether or not you feel it's the right time or not. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I was an executive after only 3 months of being at a company. So, I mean, that's, yeah, the QR code, Daisy, thank you. So does it feel right for you? Is it in alignment with the company? Is the company willing to make that move with you as well? So it's not necessarily whether or not there's a right time to move up. And I think that's the challenge that people have, is they're always waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. You just have to execute. If you want to become a director, Jennifer, then let them know, hey, this is where I want to be in the next year or two. Where do you see me? How am I doing? Is this something that's a possibility? Start putting that out there into the universe, because what you put out is what you get back. Awesome. You guys are amazing. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. Please connect with me on any social media platform. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you to everyone that bought my book. Super appreciative. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.